Hey, welcome back. It's Liz from Book Learning. Today I'm going on a hike. I'm listening to David McCulloch's The Wright Brothers, which I hadn't finished before, but now I have the time and I'm going to walk to Monticello. This is pretty much the only thing I don't like about the trail. I really enjoyed listening to The Wright Brothers by David McCulloch while I was walking on the Monticello Saunders Trail, whichever. It's fascinating that it was just a random pick, but I'm really inspired by the Wright brothers for similar reasons to why I really appreciate Abraham Lincoln. Is he's just a human. he he's they're the Wright brothers are confident and determined, hard workers, and even as everybody is telling them that flight is impossible, or the way that they're trying to fly is impossible, they just persist with their experiments, and by 1907, I believe, they are flying not just in Kitty Hawk, but in Fort Myer, Virginia, and in France. And I had no idea as well that there was such intrigue involved in funding their experiments. The U.S. government wanted nothing to do with them, and it took them forever to convince the French government to be open to it. And it was just such a back and forth at the same time that other potential aviators, striving aviators, were being funded. Why not the Wright brothers? But, who can resist a good old American underdog story? So, not quite finished, but I will probably finish it tomorrow while waiting for a plane to go to Boston. I think that's hilarious. But it's good to know how much effort they put in. So I won't be quite so nervous. flying in the air. When I was at Monticello, I bought a packet of seeds, Lobelia cardinalis. It's one of my favorite wildflowers or native flowers around here. I'll try to find a picture and put it up. I referred to it as the red velvet slipper flower until I figured out its name, but I'm going to send this to a YouTuber that I've been watching obsessively during my fun employment period, to learn more about how to garden well, and just as a thank you. So, yeah, as I mentioned, we're going to Boston, so I'm flying out in the morning, and trying to figure out what to take with me. So I'm gonna take this Furman, Adventures of a Metropolitan Lowlife by Sam Savage, as like a little trinket for my friend who is also a big reader. It was not my favorite book, but it's about Boston. It's about a rat who lives in a bookshop. It's pretty exciting. So it wasn't my favorite, but it was entertaining at least. And it wasn't my favorite because I just didn't really appreciate the philosophical perspective of the main character, Furman. But it was cute. So, and if he doesn't want this, maybe he already has it, I don't know, then I will just use this as a trade in a little free library that hopefully we find one. So, in terms of other books, I am, now that I've finished the Team of Rivals, I'm reading The Gospel According to Jesus Christ by Jose Saramago. I'm really enjoying this. It's described as a deft psychological portrait of a savior who is at once the Son of God and a young man of this earth. And I think in trying to describe it to my old coworkers that I met up with yesterday while reading to little kids for a day of service, I was trying to explain it, and it is the story that you expect from, if you have a sense of the biblical background, the story of Jesus' life, but it's told in a way that is a really critical inquiry into the context, the actual context of Jesus's life. You know, what it was like to be a Jew in that area at that time. And it's told so tongue-in-cheek. I'm really enjoying it. I don't know yet if I would recommend it on religious grounds, but it's an entertaining story nonetheless. And then I picked up 2 books at the library because I got distracted when I was there looking for books to prepare for a second interview that I had earlier this week. And one of them is Leanne Hearn's Across the Nightingale Floor, Tales of the Otori, Book 1. I know nothing about this. It's the first in a trilogy, it says. First in a trilogy. Crosses genres, genders, and generations. Epic in scope, mythical world, imaginative vision. I have no idea what it's about. That doesn't really tell me much at all. But as could probably be expected, it's an Asian type of. It's like an Asian type of fantasy. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I might not take this with me because I also have Peter Heller's The Painter. I loved The Dog Stars. It's one of the best stories telling of a relationship between a man and his dog. It's done so well. And beyond that, I really enjoyed the story. The Dog Stars is kind of a post-apocalyptic story about, is it better to be alone or just see what happens? I don't know. It's really good. I'm not doing it justice. But he has written other books, including The Painter, and I want to give him another go, inspired by Doris at Aldi Books 3+ authors video, and I realized that Peter Heller has written 3 books, and I have only read one of his, and I really enjoyed it, so I need to get on this. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking about bringing. Here we go.